CBF Online. As you can see, we're over here at the church working hard.
Yeah, and it's September 27th.
That's
and
right.
You know what, Ryan? We're doing things a little bit different today.
What do you mean by different?
I will tell you what I mean by different. We are having one service outside, 10:45, and you know what's going to be involved?
Let me tell you.
Are you going to tell me?
We're going to enjoy full worship. We got some baptisms. We got baby dedications. And you know what? Do we have food?
We do have food, catered lunch at noon. You want to be here for it.
Come hungry. You know what? And if you're if you're watching online at 9 a.m., you can still make it to the 10:45 service.
Absolutely, and you are welcome, because we know what? For many of you, we haven't seen you in a while. We'd love to see you come on out, because you know what? God is doing incredible work here at CBF. And this morning we want to share one of those stories with you. So hey, sit back or stand up, maybe that's how you want to do it, and let's join the worship team.
Let's do it.
I can see the clouds roll in. I can feel the winds, they try to shake me. I will not be moved, my feet are on the rock. I can feel the waters rise. I can hear the howling lions, they haunt me. They won't hold me now, my feet are on the rock. When I feel my whole world about to break, I will cling to your unchanging grace. Let the waters come and the earth give way. I'll be dancing in the rain. My feet are on the rock. I can see the morning light. I can feel the joy on the horizon. Hear my faith is found. Stand on solid ground. When I feel my hope about to break, I will cling to your unchanging grace. Let the waters come and the earth give way. I'll be dancing in the rain. My feet are on the rock.
As a solid rock I stand, all other ground is sinking sand. So stomp your feet and clap your hands, our feet are on the rock.
On Christ the solid rock I stand, all other ground is sinking sand.
So stomp your feet and clap
Clap your hands, our feet are on the rock. On Christ the solid rock I stand, all other ground is sinking sand. So stop your feet and clap your hands, our feet are on the rock. When I feel my hope about to break,
I will cling to your unchanging grace. Let the waters come and the earth give way. I'll be dancing in the rain. When I feel my hope about to break, I will cling to your unchanging grace. Let the waters come and the earth give way. I'll be dancing in the rain. My feet are on the rock. My feet are on the rock.
my feet are on the rock.
When we got out of the car, we walked to the front door. Melissa Osegan was standing there with a smile on her face to greet us, but instead of welcoming us in, she showed us to the side yard where they were having a fall festival. Each life group had set up a booth with different kinds of breakfasts. Within 15 minutes of arriving at the church, we had met the Sewells, the McDonalds, and the Prices. And they had invited us to their next life group. They met about 2 miles from our home, and they were all about the same age and life stage. A week later, we went to our first life group meeting. After we ate dinner, we gathered together, and the leader, Darren McDonald, had us go around the room and talk about something we were thankful for. When it got to me, I told them that I was very thankful that they had invited us to the life group and that they had welcomed us in, and then I started to cry. But Dean jumped right in and he said, "You know why she's crying? It's because I haven't accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, and I don't know that I can." He told the group that he didn't understand how God allowed bad things to happen, and he didn't know that if he could trust God or if he was worthy of being saved. And while this was not a surprise to me, this was the first time that Dean had verbally admitted it, and it was heartbreaking to hear. But these new friends God had given us, they accepted Dean without question. Instead of judging him, the men discipled to him. They reached out to him. They started texting him. They sent him videos. They invited him to coffee. Dean had never expected this, nor had he ever experienced this kind of acceptance before. Over the next few weeks, we became more and more involved. And about 6 weeks after we visited the church, at our life group on Sunday, October 22nd of 2017, Dean asked Barkev if they could meet. He wanted to talk to him that week. He had told me that while he still had questions, he thought he might be ready to give his life to Jesus. The very next day, Dean had a doctor appointment because he'd been feeling a little bit off. They ran some tests, and about 5 o'clock on that Monday evening, the doctor told us that Dean had cancer. We were stunned when we left the doctor's office. We had no idea that he was even sick. We had arrived to the appointment in separate cars, and so we had to leave separately. When Dean got in his car, his phone rang, and it was Barkev, calling him to set up a time for them to talk. Dean told him about his diagnosis, and then he headed straight to the church. I went home and told Michael, and then we called Megan in New York so that she could make arrangements to come home. Michael and I cried as we waited for Dean to come home. It seemed so surreal, like we were watching a movie or something. When he walked in the door, Dean was crying as well, but he was smiling. And the first thing he said was, "I've accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior." This was not what we had expected. Michael and I just started sobbing. And as Michael later said, it was the best, worst day ever. We thanked God for his grace, and then the three of us prayed for a cure. We also began to write down a list of our blessings, and there were so many. One of the biggest blessings was our life group. These men and women had become our support group and our prayer warriors. They did so many things to care for us and to carry us throughout this time. The women texted me encouragement almost every morning as I was getting ready to go to work and leave my husband or to help him get where he needed to be. The men came to our house. They changed the air filters in our air conditioning. They watched our dog. They met with repairmen. They sat at the hospital with Dean, and they prayed with us. They took care of not just Dean and I, but they took care of our children. They reached out and they opened their hearts to us, and we needed them. They let us know that they were with us, and it meant so much.